the United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lulia. Clear tonight with a low of 56, then cloudy on Saturday with a high of 76. Nightingale at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant. Now open daily from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu available until midnight. Check them out today at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade.
Hey, to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio
presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. And as you know, we talk about Native issues all over Turtle Island. We bring you the news. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Native Roots Trading Post. You could find us at 700 Nicollet Mall in downtown Minneapolis, and we're on the first floor of the Dayton's building. We support Native artists.
Yes, we do. Hey, great to see Gina Peltier again, Wendy, stepping in for Ogama. Ogama's
that's fantastic.
Out in California.
Welcome back. We can't keep you away, Gina.
Yes, definitely. And you got that great Resist t-shirt, and you can get that at our store down at Dayton's and online at Native Roots Trading Post too. Resist.
Resist
so
for sure.
Welcome, Gina.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back. So good to see you all. I'll just go ahead and get started. How about that? Hey, bonjour everyone. Gina Peltier and Dijnakaj, Makadewa, Makwa and Dudum, Anishinaabe and Dunjaba, Mikanakwaji and Niniwa. I am Gina Peltier. I am Black Bear Clan, and I am from Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. And it's so great to be here with you guys. Happy Friday. So in Duluth, Minnesota today, Tanya Abid, one of the main Indigenous women leaders of the Line 3 battle, had court over Zoom while she and other water protectors gathered outside the courthouse for food and a good time. They were joined at 1 p.m. by a women's rights rally. I'm so sad I had to miss it, and it sounded like they had such a good time. The Drop the Charges rally brought many together, not only to support Tanya, but other water protectors who are still going through the court system for being arrested for taking a peaceful stand for everyone's clean water. And for taking a stand against the tar sands oil pipeline 3. So a big chimi gwitch to you, Tanya Abid, and all the other water protectors, and may the force be with you. Honor the Earth is having informational town halls regarding the Huber toxic mill, a toxic wood processing plant that will cause damaging deforestation to the Chippewa National Forest and surrounding areas, and will cause pollution that could cause acid rain and long-term damaging effects to Minnesota's fragile ecosystem. So tomorrow, Saturday, May 14th, Annie Humphrey is going to be joined by David Huckfield at the State Theater in Ely, Minnesota. That's 238 East Sheridan Street, Ely, Minnesota, ELY. I hope I'm saying that right. And that's starting at 6. Is it? Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. So please join them in conversation about the devastating effects that the Huber mill will have. And then Winona LaDuke and David Huckfield will be joining Annie Humphrey in Duluth, Minnesota, Wednesday, May 18th at the West Theater, 319 North Central Avenue. And not only will there be a Huber Mill Town Hall, but there will be performances by David Huckfield and Annie Humphrey. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a great show, guys, so don't miss that one. A group portraying itself as Husky Engineer rolled out a fake public safety initiative in Superior, Wisconsin on the 4-year anniversary of the Husky oil refinery explosion that injured dozens of people and forced many residents to temporarily evacuate. One member of the group, which called itself Modest Proposals, said it was an elaborate hoax to draw attention to the refinery's plans to continue using a highly toxic chemical when it resumes operations next year. The group posed as Husky, which was bought in a multi-billion-dollar deal last year by Cenovus Energy Inc., as it unveiled an initiative called Husky Friends, representing itself as the company in a news release. The group offered Duluth and Superior community members opportunities to sign up for safety alerts and learn more about hydrogen fluoride on the new website. The website states those who sign up for hydrogen fluoride gas leak warnings will receive a complimentary compassion kit. That kit is said to include a coloring book, a hydrogen fluoride gas detector for a kid's room, and a rapid acting burning cream formulated with the natural oils sourced from Alberta's tar sands region to treat hydrogen fluoride chemical burns. But it was no joke when the explosion and fires at the Wisconsin's only oil refinery forced many of the city's 27,000 residents to evacuate over fears of a hydrogen fluoride release. The highly toxic chemical is used in refining to make gasoline, but it can be hazardous to human health when released. While no hydrogen fluoride was spilled that day, it was learned of the issue through the Duluth and Superior residents who were frustrated with the refinery's plans to rebuild. The group released a phony commercial, thousands of postcards, and social media posts with the fake campaign. One tweet featured the group presenting an initiative to Superior Mayor Jim Payne. What a smart way to get people's attentions. That's quite creative. I kind of like that a lot.
It's great to bring that up again. That was such a disaster that we should not forget.
Exactly, most definitely. And to think that they're going to start operations on the Husky refinery again, it's just, I wouldn't even want to live in that area if they were going to be doing that, let alone promoting that. And then tomorrow, Minnesota Renewable Now, Interfaith Power and Light, Climate Generation and Honor the Earth is hosting a Northland Renewable Energy Tour. So join the Just Solar Coalition for a tour of the northern Minnesota promoting the renewable economy. This is a great opportunity to visit solar sites and learn more about investments in the Northland that are supporting a just transition to a green and sustainable economy for all. A featured part of the tour is the closing event in Brainerd, a light meal, live music, and engagement in climate conversations. So join this last stop on the tour as they imagine a just transition to a renewable economy, not only in the metro areas, but everywhere and for everyone. So that's again tomorrow, Saturday, May 14th, starting at 11:30 at 401 Murray Avenue in Pine River. Again, that was 11:30, 401 Murray Avenue, Pine River. The Pine River Bacchus Public School is the site of a 660 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system installed in 2018. So bring your own bag lunch and enjoy a presentation by school faculty, staff, and students. And then at 1, they're going to be heading over to 2331 Dancing Wind Road over in Pine River. The Hunt Utilities Group has a 4,500 square foot building made out of straw bales and mud and decorated with fantastic art. So on the tour, you'll learn about recycling gray water, passive solar heating, heated floors, composting toilets, and more. So please go ahead and just mosey on over to Honor the Earth's Facebook event page to learn out more and about more of the stops along the way. It's going to be throughout Pine River and Brainerd, and the last stop will be at 4:15 at the Boynesberry's Farms. And that is the site of the 40 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system. All participants will need to provide their own transportation, and we encourage you to carpool with others. They hope that you can join the full tour, but you are welcome to meet up at any of the designated time stop along the way and sharing the conversation and bringing our dreams and aspirations to light at a powerful point of this tour. The tour is free and the cost of the meal is $15 per person. So again, please go to Honor the Earth's Facebook event page and click the link for tickets to register. And be sure to invite friends and family and members of your faith, and they look forward to seeing you along the tour. And I just like to leave you with this, guys. We never needed fossil fuels to begin with. I mean, Henry Ford's first automobiles ran off a hemp fuel, and the body was made out of hemp itself. So, and hemp steel is 1,000 times stronger. You guys, thank you again so much for having me on. And, let's go then. Let's do this. Let's get off our butts and fight for a green new revolution, you guys. Thank you so much.
Gina, thank you. You didn't miss a beat. Really great job. Really great update. I like to see all those seeds Winona got for a hemp farm, too. That was awesome to see. Peeny Gigi, up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh of Minnesota. We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minneapolis Public Schools wants to hire you. They have a variety of positions to start your career. You can work in the classroom as a teacher or classroom support, or work outside the classroom as a bus driver, in the culinary wellness department to help prepare nutritious meals, or keeping the building safe and sanitized as a custodian. Bilingual, bicultural, candidates encouraged to apply. Start your career in education and apply today at jobs.minneapolis.k12.mn.us.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Well, Wendy, we are going to be interviewing some people from Rutherford Falls here real soon, coming up in June. Their new season's coming out, and there's a lot of crossover between Reservation Dogs and Rutherford Falls. We noticed we saw a lot of the same actors, and we know writers, and Bobby Wilson is an actor on there now, and he was a writer. Now he's writing with Reservation Dogs, but it would be great to interview those guys. We'll get a chance to interview them, and we get to see the screeners too, so we get to see the show way before it's out there. So that's exciting. And
it is.
Speaking of exciting, we have an award winner on here right now. I can't get my papers here because the cat's here.
Cat's sitting on Robert's notes.
On my notes, but we have St. Kate's Campus Award for Alumni and Leadership, State Senator Mary Kunesh. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here this evening and for bringing me in on this little Friday afternoon. It's always a highlight of my week.
Exactly. A lot going on. I was at the Capitol Wednesday, and I know you were speaking at the same engagement, but I had to leave a little earlier. But a lot going on there. Native American Indian Month, or however they want to call it. I call it Ho-Chunk Month everywhere. But yeah, and you were one of the speakers, and you've been doing a lot of things since we last spoke. So give us an update, Mary.
Well, we finished our second to the last week in the Minnesota legislature. Next week is our last week to complete any legislation that we can find agreement on. There's not been a whisper of a special session this year, so we expect to be done on time, which will be that Monday, a week from this coming Monday. And there's still a lot to be decided on. And so we spent the week hearing a lot of individual bills on the Minnesota Senate floor. And as you said, we did celebrate American Indian Month, ACO, or not ACO, excuse me, MIAC, Minnesota Indian Affairs Council, organized with a bunch of our urban organizations and nonprofits, a day on the hill for Native Americans. And so all day long, they were down in our L'Etoile du Nord, down in the basement in a central room, and folks were able to come down, go through and talk to a lot of our Native leaders and hear about programs that we have here in Minnesota that are unique to our American Indian communities. And then, yes, I got to talk a little bit about what it's like to be an elected Native American person and what led me up to that. And I know there were just, a lot of great people coming in out of that day. And I got a lot of good feedback from senators that were able to go down there and talk to folks. So I'm glad that we did that. I'm glad Shannon Gishik and Marissa Cummings and whoever else put that together did, because I think we need a constant reminder that we are still here and there are still resources that need to be shared with our communities in order for us all to thrive.
Yeah, that's right, Shannon. Years ago, I worked with Shannon on the St. Paul Public Schools Parent Committee, and she had a couple students, children that went there, and she's really come a long way, and she's a real big warrior, what she does, and that was a really nice event. And a lot of the 11 tribal government people were there too, weren't they, Mary?
Yeah, I think they came in and out throughout the day as they could. They, of course, are negotiating for bonding dollars or legislation that are going to help their communities, the environment, and organizations that provide services, you know, around the state as well as in our urban core. And so, yeah, there was a lot of really good representation. There is one big piece of legislation. We call it the Yulee bill, Urban Indian Legacy Initiative, I believe. And there it is. It's along the bottom. And that is like a package of legislation requests, bonding dollars, and it's actually cash to help some of the organizations throughout the urban core of the state that provide so much of the services for our Native folks. And so they were hard on the tail of legislators yesterday. Maggie Lorenz was there, Marissa Cummings, Joe Hobart, just Sharon Day. They were just all there talking to legislators, working their requests. And that's really what we need to do. That's really what folks need to do if they really are anxious or urgent to have legislation, come to the Capitol. Call or ask those legislators for an appointment. And, when we're on the floor, you can send a note and say, Robert Pilot wants to talk to Mary Kunesh, and they'll take it to me on the floor. And if I can, I'll come out and meet you at the steps and talk to you about whatever's on your mind. So there's plenty of ways to work your bills and to build those kind of relationships with legislators that are in the position of making decisions.
I know Wendy has done quite a bit of that over the years.
I've got Dave Pinto out of session, and I've met many times with our Senator Aaron Murphy, also in person and on Zoom. So
we're really lucky to have those two, because we just shot those. There was some emails out there for legislators to pass the Urban Indigenous Legacy Initiative, and it was pretty slick. And I sent it to ours, and I know, I always go, hey, I always introduce myself, Mary, to Dave Pinto, and he goes, oh, I know you and Wendy. It's like, oh, okay, is that good or bad? But we're blessed here in our district.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you do have good people, and I know that Rena Moran, who is a senator near to you, I don't think she's your senator, or excuse me, House Rep. She's a House Rep right now. She's running for city council. No, not city council, county commissioner. I know that she would love to come on to your show, Robert and Wendy. So reach out to her and let her know. But, this is an African-American woman that came from Chicago with her family, her children, worked really hard, probably worked a number of jobs, and eventually was elected to the Minnesota House of Representatives, and has done just a phenomenal job about working for BIPOC communities, especially African American communities. And now she's looking to move into the county arena, where there's a lot more that she could do. And I know that she's really excited and anxious to be able to advocate for her community members, as well as the African American and folks of color. So she'd be a good one to talk to soon.
I did meet her at the caucus. I did meet her and talk to her. So that's a good reminder, because Mary, and Wendy knows more than anyone. I have a good memory, but it's short. So, I'll need a little. I just made a note of that too when you mentioned that, because she would be dynamic to be on for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do we got? We got another week of this just before my birthday on May 23rd. There's going to be the end of a session, right?
Yep, absolutely. We've got just this week and the weekend to get it all done. Of course, one of the big things that we've been working hard to address and put in place safeguards so that we don't lose the ability. Here in Minnesota, we abortion is legal, and all the states around us, they have outlawed abortion. And now, with the threat of Roe versus Wade being overturned, we are in a position where just 26 state legislators at the federal level, 26 people can make a difference and strip more than 36 million women who are of reproductive age of the right to make decisions about their own bodies and their own reproductive decisions. 26 people can do that. And we're trying hard in Minnesota at the legislature to ensure that we have legislation in place that will ensure that women have that option, and that there are resources out there for families should they decide whether to build their family or not. Those resources should be there, and it's not just a woman's issue. Let's think about this, right? It takes a man to produce a baby, and it is the men's responsibility just as much as women to ensure and to fight for their women's reproductive rights. And so I hope that a lot of men realize that and step up and join the fight to ensure that we have those rights and that we're not losing them.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I know the nations, I've heard whispers about their clinics on Sovereign Nation. If the poop hits the fan, they're going to be ready to accommodate women all over Turtle Island. But that's another discussion. Mary, can you stay on another segment?
Yep, just for another one.
All right, cool. We'll be right back after this short break. You're listening.
Stay with us.
Oh, hey, Wendy, what are we doing for dinner after the show?
How about we go to J. Selby's on 169 Victoria Street in St. Paul? They have a delicious plant-based menu that's compassionate and environmentally sustainable.
I'm getting their spot-on vegan Big Mac, the dirty secret.
You can pick up and they deliver within a 5-mile radius, or you can call them at 651-222-3263 or visit jselbys.com.
Well, you sold me, Wen. Let's go order at J. Selby's tonight.
I'm hungry.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College will help you get where you want to go. Located downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, one-on-one mentorship, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality. Connect with a counselor today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Are you nervous to go to your mailbox and see one more past due mortgage bill? You could qualify for financial assistance through Home Help MN if you have fallen behind on your mortgage payments due to the pandemic. This Minnesota housing program even has money available to help with other past due mortgage-related expenses. Learn more at homehelpmn.org or call 1-800-388-3226.
Hello, Minneapolis. Make sense, make progress, make a date, make an appointment with me weeknights from 10 to midnight here on AM 950.
Tune in for Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence.
Coming up, what is ideology?
Well, it's a set of ideals that inform your political and economic views and guide your policymaking.
No, ideology is a set of assumptions you adhere to dogmatically, even though they don't apply in the real world.
That's just your ideology telling you that.
What is ideology? Next time on Philosophy Talk.
Philosophy Talk, every Sunday at 8 a.m.
on AM 950.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
The independently owned Next Chapter Booksellers is the perfect destination for your next book. The friendly staff at Next Chapter Booksellers are great at making recommendations no matter your age or taste. Plus, they have frequent events including book readings and meet and greets with authors. And they sell more than just books. They have a wide variety of puzzles and games, too. So stop in and browse the store off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 56, then cloudy on Saturday with a high of 76.
This is Angela Warner with Warner Stallion. If you've got a broken appliance or one you wish would break, don't settle for poor selection and don't pay a penny more than you should. Warner Stallion has thousands of in-stock appliances, plus save an extra 5%. Shop now at warnerstallion.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
We have another guest here.
We do.
Cute.
Yes, this is why I said I can be on just one more, because I got my little sweetie Reedy here. Say hi to everyone.
Oh.
Say hi. Hiya. Hiya.
A little bandana. That's cute.
She spent the day with me. We got to the park. She got on her first time on the swings. Yes. And she had to watch the big boys who were climbing ropes. And the one boy had to give me an interesting factoid. He said, "Hey, did you know that babies are born without kneecaps?" I was like, "No, I did not know that."
So cute. That is true.
It is true. Where do they grow?
Yeah, I think he was like 11 or 12 years old. I don't know where he picked up that little tidbit, but now this is my granddaughter Rita. Say hi, everyone. And her mama and my son are downstairs grilling bison burgers for us.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted, I know you got a few more minutes, but I wanted to really take a step back, and I was at the Capitol. I talked to a few people, colleagues of yours, and one of the things that kept on coming up, I know you've done this where you've called out the other side, but I think it's time for all of us Democrats to really just say, hey, you guys are liars. And, instead of being, I guess, being quiet and just thinking, well, these guys are saying dumb stuff and people won't believe them. There's people believing them, and we got to out these people that, we have people in the national politics here that are taking credit, Republicans that are taking credit for all these bills that they voted against.
Yeah.
We have to get out there and just call them liars. I know you called some people out just recently out on the floor, Mary.
Well, that's so frustrating. I'm a Democrat, and the Republicans are just always, trying to blame everything on somebody else, especially on Democrats. And in Minnesota, the disparities in education is just really atrocious. There's no reason, there's no excuse for it. And they'll say it's, because, the bad teachers and the this and the that. And then when we try to, pass legislation that will fully fund our special ed subsidies, our ELL subsidies, in greater Minnesota, the cost of transporting kids in buses is phenomenal, and it all comes out of their general fund. And so they haven't had any relief or extra help. And they'll blame it on like the Democrats or the Democratic governor, where if we go all the way back to Governor Peltier back in the 80s, when he literally he took the money that was allotted to Minnesota students and used it to balance his budget. So those schools didn't get that money, and that was the beginning of the end. And we haven't fully funded our education. And so they're trying to make it out like, these bad Democrats and governors. And I was like, no, let's go back and look. I mean, there was an education committee chair who was blaming the Democrats for, the bad scores of our students. And she proposed $0 increase for education when she was the chair of education. $0. And it took the Democrats kicking and fighting to bring it up just to 2%, which is not even inflation. It's not even inflation. So we are so far behind on fully funding our educational system. And, I'm not going to sit there and not take it. It's the same with, maybe you're talking about when I lost my mind or lost my temper on the floor when the Republicans were complaining about some sports teams that had to go away because the U of M, University of Minnesota, didn't have funding. But they won't fully fund secondary education or, education in general. What are you going to do?
All right. They want to blame Title IX, which is a thing that's been happening since you and I've been in school, basically, Mary and Wendy. And it's amazing. Well, and then they're just nationally, too. I mean, they're blaming Biden on the high gases and the gouging of that. And it's like, well, what does he have to do with Switzerland or what? These other
they're blaming Biden for the formula, the baby formula shortage.
I know, it's crazy.
On.
I know when they overturn Roe versus Wade, they're not going to clothe these babies that are going to be born. They're not going to house these babies that are being born. They're not going to give any sort of supplementation to help this child grow into an adult. They just want to protect. I don't know what
it's a power trip. I'm telling you, Wendy and Mary, you and both know this is like, first it's women's rights, then it's gay marriage, then we just go on and on and on just to appease 30% of this country. We have our own South Africa going on here in the United States now, where the white rule us that are becoming a smaller and smaller percentage of our population.
And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid because white men, that population is shrinking and folks of color are growing. And that really worries them. But to go back a little bit to, if they roll back Roe versus Wade, they also want to roll back contraceptives, like outlawing IUDs or contraceptives. I mean, are you serious? People have to rise up and they have to realize that we say this all the time, we're at a critical point in politics, but this is atrocious and we cannot let this happen.
And one of the things, that's what I was bringing up too, is I think some of our Democrats need to be less passive and more attackive, because that's what they've been playing since the 80s, the Reagan era. This has been a slow, methodical plan that the Christian right have been doing since then, from Jerry Falwell all the way up to God knows who.
And rich white women are not going to have a problem leaving the state and going where they need to go and staying in a hotel and getting a safe abortion. They're not going to have a problem. It's going to be everyone else. And all these white men out there having affairs, all their mistresses will also be able to afford and go where they need to go to get safe abortions.
Yeah. And we're going to, I'm just so afraid that we'll start seeing those, back of the alley abortions that lead to instant death or self-induced abortions. I mean, come on, we are in 2022. We should not need to have this conversation. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, look at that. Never again with the hanger. It's terrible, you know? And I think that one thing I've also pointed out is that there are almost 2 generations of women and men that have not had that have always had access to reproductive decisions and abortion. So if this goes away, they are going to be going back 2 generations. And I think that those are the folks that really need to be fighting for their civil rights when it comes to this, because they haven't had to worry about it. And I hope they realize that this is incredible and this is significant, and it absolutely is a civil right offense.
Well, again, I got to keep on echoing this, and I know you're on top of it, Mary, but your colleagues really have to get out there and play the mean game. I'm sorry, but there's no more Miss or Mr. a nice guy, because this is red alert, because what Fox News has done to relatives, friends, and neighbors, it is the upside down world, and they basically are saying lies, and they say it so many times, just like the last president, that everyone believes it.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have to really fight back, because this is an important election, just like they all are, but we need to engage because we outnumber them. We need to engage like we did the last time, and even more.
Yep. It's all about our ability to choose our life. It's about our ability to choose our reproductive pattern in life. It's about us being able to afford children and make that decision when and how we're going to have our children. I mean, we had a bill up the Dems put a bill up to allow women to choose who to have in their delivery room, a doula, a culturally unique person. And the Republicans wouldn't even engage, absolutely would not engage. We brought 9 really important bills, called them up out of committee to be heard on the floor. They would not engage. In fact, I bet there were maybe 6 GOP Republicans on the floor of the Minnesota session, Minnesota Senate, during our session, time. Once they realized that we were going to make them take hard votes, they all left and voted remotely. They didn't want to be there, and they didn't want to discuss it.
Let's get these guys out. We know even there was a big red alert after 45 was elected, and there was a million lady march on Washington, D.C. and all over the nation. We need a 10 million people march before this election to get the rock the vote out there and just make things happen, Mary and Wendy.
Well, tomorrow, I'm glad you said that. Tomorrow at Planned Parenthood on Vandalia and University, there is a rally. And from what I've heard, over 4,000 people have already registered to attend. I don't know that all of them will attend, but if you are in the Twin Cities or in Minnesota and you want to show your support for women's right to choose their reproductive medical action, show up at Vandalia and University Avenue in St. Paul around noon, and show your support.
Yeah, that's right. Across that, one of my favorite McDonald's that I sneak to when Wendy doesn't know I'm eating McDonald's. It's right over there. We'll check that out. Mary, thank you so much for stopping in, and the little one for stopping in. Some people were worried about what he was putting.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
I was watching. I was very careful.
Well, thanks, State Senator Mary Kunesh, Minnesota. We'll be right back after this short break.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Navigating COVID while protecting yourself can be difficult. Fortunately, there's a hotline you can call with any questions. The Department of Indian Work St. Paul partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health to open the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline. They provide information on vaccines, booster shots, and testing sites. Right now, booster shots are available to anyone over the age of 18 for those who are eligible. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline can also help with housing, food, medical, and educational support. If you or someone you know has questions about COVID-19, vaccinations, booster shots, or testing, please call 651-304-9986. Again, the number is 651-304-9986. The Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline is open for calls Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the Twin Cities American Indian COVID-19 hotline at 651-304-9986.
Things may be getting better, but COVID is still around. Stay healthy and up to date on your COVID vaccinations and boosters. Right now, everyone 5 and older is eligible to get a vaccination, while everyone 12 and up is eligible for their booster shot. Plus, you're eligible for a second booster if you're over 50 or received an initial booster dose at least 4 months ago. Getting boosted increases your protection against severe disease from COVID-19. Find a vaccination site by calling 651-304-9986.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States, and 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected. Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf. Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy. As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired. Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
This is Winona LaDuke of Honor the Earth, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Awake.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
See how I'm doing it with the that GIF?
Exactly.
The GIF file. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy has been an animal advocate for many, many years, and she talks about our sacred animals all over Turtle Island every day, and it's good to have you back. You're back in the studio with me, as it should be, and we're glad to have you, and I know you can't wait to get back to New York, but you're here right now, and so, so hey, what do you got for us? It's a fun Friday, Wendy.
Yeah, Fridays we kind of keep it light and bright. During the week we talk about more serious issues, but on Fridays we always like to keep that light and bright. But yeah, hey everybody, my name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. As everyone already knows, I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. And I just want to congratulate Curtis and Kim for adopting a new little kitty. So congratulations and best wishes on that. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. And one of my jobs doing that is lobbying, like they were talking, Mary Kunesh, Senator Mary Kunesh and Robert were talking earlier. I will go to the state capitol and I will make appointments with my senators and House representatives and city council members and try to pass laws that help animals. So we don't work with shelters or adopt cats and dogs out to the public. We don't do that. We do work with shelters in cases of like emergencies, if there's tornadoes or hurricanes and natural disasters. The Humane Society of the United States will jump in there and they will work with local shelters to get dogs and cats and other animals to safety. But yeah, it's been really fun to work with them over the years. And so I have a article here. It's called Best Life. It was written by Sarah Crow. It's dated January 29th, 2020, but it still rings true because it's fun animal facts. And I'm not going to read them all. And some of them I already have read before, but maybe some people out there didn't know that, but I have told everyone this before. Koalas have fingerprints that are so close to humans that they could be criminalized, like their fingerprints. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And how cute are they? Did you know that prairie dogs kiss? Prairie dogs are quirky creatures for a number of reasons. They're giant rodents. They dig massive interconnective underground homes, and they kiss while they're
Who do they
actually touching their front teeth in order to identify each other when they seem to be sweetly sharing a smooch. The BBC explains that scientists believe prairie dogs kiss and cuddle more when they are being watched by zoo visitors because they appear to enjoy the attention. So the more that the people say, oh, the prairie dogs do it more often. So I think that's really cute. And I really do love prairie dogs. They are one of my little favorite little animals. Female lions do 90% of the hunting. So the male lions can just lay down and just go take a nappy while the woman does all the work. Did you know the world's oldest known breed of domesticated dog dates back to 329 BC? That is a long time ago. And the oldest evidence of domesticated cats dates back 9,500 years. So these pesky cats have been around for a really long time. Wow. I think that's crazy. Cats have been known to be hanging around humans for thousands of years. The Guinness World Record reports, that's right, Lucy, that we've been domesticating cats for 9,500 years. Proof of this came in 2004 when the bones of a cat were discovered in a Neolithic village on Cyprus. The position of the cat in the ground was next to the bones of a human whose similar state of preservation strongly suggests they were buried together. So, cats, wow. Yeah. And I've always had a cat. I can't really remember a time in my life that I didn't have a cat. Most humans say about 70 to 95% are right-handed. A minority, say 5% to 30%, are left-handed, and that's bottlenose dolphins are even more right-handed than humans. Isn't that funny? I mean, I wouldn't know why that would even be important or why you need to know that, but dolphins are right-handed. I don't even know how they figured this out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'd put something in front of them and see what they grab. Right?
Exactly. There's a kind of ant that only lives in a small area of Manhattan. Robert, the next time we're in New York, we're going to have to check it out. If you've ever been to the area of the Broadway medians at 63rd and 76th Street in New York City, keep an eye on the ground for crawling critters, and you might spot something rare. There were the Manhattan ant can be found, an ant that only lives in one small area of the city. It's a relative of the cornfield ant, and it looks like it's from Europe, but we can't match it up with any of the European species. Rob Dunn, a biology professor at North Carolina State University, told the New York Post. Dunn and his team discovered the isolated ant variety in 2012. I'm going to make a note of that, and we're going to go to 63rd and 76th Streets in New York City, Robert, and look down at the ground to see if we can find these ants. Did you know that cows, if they're painted with zebra-like stripes, can avoid being bitten by flies? Cows have to deal with pesky flies that are beyond annoying for the docile creatures. Luckily, farmers can now protect their animals by painting them a zebra-like stripes, according to 2019 study in the PLOS1. The numbers of biting flies on Japanese black cows painted with black and white stripes were significantly lower than the non-painted cows and cows painted only with black stripes. So there you go. I wonder if zebras do get bitten by flies, or if there's flies even in that area.
I'm sure they do. I see them moving their tail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's about to get us off.
She's about to get us off the air. She jumped into some wiry really important things. And of course, that's the only area that we don't want her to be in, and that's the only area that she wants to go in. So let's see if we could hear. Oh, baby Tasmanian devils make lifelong friendships. That's a cute one. And a grizzly bear's bite is strong enough to crush a bowling ball. I could believe that one.
I'm back to prairie dogs kissing.
Oh, okay. So did you know a housefly, when it's flying around your head and it buzzes,
Yeah.
do you know what key they buzz in?
Key of C?
F.
Oh.
Yeah, they cut. Yep. When you hear a housefly buzzing around your home, you might be annoyed by the persistent sound. However, the next time it happens, try to soothe yourself by noting that the airborne pest is actually buzzing in an F key.
Wow. I could ad lib, do some jazz licks with the background of the flies.
Ducks can surf.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can't land in ice, though. We've seen that.
And pigeons can do math.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Happy Friday. Yay.
All right. Wow. There you go, Wendy. We got 20 seconds here. You got a quick one?
I do. Wild chimps like to drink alcohol.
Oh, jeez. Hey, we need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office. You are listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier. Stop line 3.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. Snap Construction is arguably the